So now we know our problem. We need to stop using fossil fuels and reach carbon neutrality or net zero by 2030. So we need to drastically reduce our carbon emissions. For that big challenge, we need to be creative, curious, collaborative, resourceful. These are all solutions-focused attributes that are used in design thinking. We need to work together and tackle this problem together. And that's called the engineering habits of mind. It's about how we approach a problem, trying to solve it, being resourceful, resilient, keeping going until we come to a solution that works for people. And so that's what I'm going to just talk us through now, the engineering design process. This is what you're going to go through to think about the different solutions that we could take toward getting to net zero 2030. And then you're going to discuss how we can improve on that in the west of England as well. So your first task is to investigate the problem. You need to find out more about the problem, exactly why we've defined it the way we have, what we need to tackle, and really get to the heart of this issue. And of course, we know what our major problem is. Our carbon emissions are rising. That's causing climate change. But we need to tackle our specific problems of transport, energy, and waste. So the next thing then is to empathise with people. Why are we still carrying on emitting carbon emissions and still using fossil fuels? What's causing people to still keep living in this way? And what problems will we face as we transition away from fossil fuels? So as we move to different forms of energy or transport, or different styles of living as well. And that might be in the global north or the global south. That's for you to think about and discuss together. And particularly in the west of England, you might like to use a way of finding out about people, which is called the 7 segments from Climate Outreach. And this defines different types of people in Britain, how they think about climate change and their values and lifestyles that they live now. How will this affect all these different types of people? So the next is defining our problem. We've already done that for you by using the problem statement, how might we? This is a really good way of approaching problems because it gets you in that frame of mind of solutions thinking. So thinking through, well, how might we tackle this challenge? How might we change our habits? How might we find different solutions to using fossil fuels? And they're defined for you, ready for you to look at the solutions. So the next stage would be to imagine what are the possibilities that we can tackle this problem with. And again, we've given you 3 different scenarios for each problem. So different options we could take that feasibly actually could get us to net zero 2030. And they're for you to think through, watch, discuss together. Normally, we would then go on to prototype and test those solutions. So you'd actually look at the solution, test it, scientifically analyse, see if it's doing the job. But that's for you to discuss and imagine together. And once you've thought that through, the next step then is to improve. This is for you to take it back to our political leaders and actually think about how might we reach net zero by 2030? How can we address these problems together? And that's where we'll leave you thinking about how will you play your part in this big challenge that we have, but the solutions are in our grasp. We already know what we can do. We just have to do it.